she decided to find out the truth. She wore the dress herself one night, and to her horror, she felt a dark, greedy sensation. Ifeoma was a tailor who was known for her exceptional skills in a small town. One day, she decided to create a beautiful dress that anyone who saw it would want it for themselves. She worked for weeks using a mysterious shining fabric that she found in an old and dusty chest in the room inside the roof of her building. When she finished, the dress was indeed breathtaking. It sparkled under the light of her shop like it was made of tiny stars. The tailor placed it in her shop window, and soon it caught the eye of passerby. The first person to buy the dress was a young lady named Oma. She wore it to a party, and instantly she was the center of attention. But as the night went on, she began to feel strangely possessive of the dress and envious of anyone who looked at it too long. After wearing the dress, Oma started acting out of character, and her friends felt a chill when they were around her. Eventually, Oma returned the dress to the tailor, complaining that it brought her bad luck. But the dress didn't stay in the shop for too long. Another woman brought it, and soon she returned it too, claiming that it caused her misfortune and distress. The pattern repeated with anyone who brought the dress. Rumors started to spread that the dress was cursed. The tailor, puzzled and worried, she decided to find out the truth. She wore the dress herself one night, and to her horror, she felt a dark, greedy sensation creeping into her thoughts. Realizing the harm it could cause, the tailor decided to destroy the dress. She tried burning it, cutting it, but nothing worked. It seems indestructible. Finally, she locked it inside the same old chest she found the fabric in and buried it deeply in the woods, hoping no one would find it again. The town slowly returned to normal, but the story of the evil dress lingered, a reminder of the dangers of envy and the mysterious power that could reside in most unexpected places. Years passed, and the story of the evil dress became a local legend, told from one generation to the next. Kids would dare each other to go and find the chest in the woods, but no one was ever brave enough to actually look for it. Life in the town went on as usual, and the tailor's shop eventually closed down after she retired. Her final years were spent always wondering about the true nature of that mysterious fabric. Meanwhile, in another part of the country, a curious historian named Sarah, who specializes on local myths and legends, stumbled upon the story of the evil dress while researching. Fascinated, she traveled to the town to learn more. She interviewed the elderly people who remembered the tailor and their notorious creation. Assembling together their stories with old newspaper articles, she managed to locate the area where the dress was said to be buried. Armed with a map and a metal detector, Sarah ventured into the woods. After hours of searching, her metal detector finally beeped loudly over a particular spot. Digging carefully, she found the old rusted chest. With a mixture of excitement and fear, she opened it. Inside, the dress looked as pristine as the day it was locked away, its fabric still shining with an airy glow. Despite knowing the stories, Sarah felt an overwhelming desire to take the dress back with her, convincing herself that she was doing it for academic purposes. She brought the dress back to her home. At first, everyone seemed fine. Sarah conducted her research, documenting her findings for a new book. But soon, she noticed changes in her behavior. She became very protective of the dress, refusing to let anyone see the dress and study it. Her obsession grew, and her relationship with friends and family began to strain. Realizing her life was monitoring those who had owned the dress before. Sarah knew she had to act fast. She decided that the only way to break the cycle was to not just hide the dress, but to destroy the dress for good. She remembered reading about ancient artifacts being neutralized by burying them in salt. Gathering her resolve, she placed the dress in a large container filled with salt, sealing it tightly. She drove to a remote desert where she buried the container deep in a barren land, marking the spot with an unremarkable rock. Sarah left the desert, feeling a weight lifted off her shoulders, hoping that the salt would prevent the dress from causing any other harm. Back in her normal life, Sarah finished her book, warning of the dangers of obsession and the real cause of envy. The town's legend of the evil dress ended there, a cautionary story of beauty's dark side, forever buried under the layers of earth and salt. Several years passed after Sarah buried the dress deep inside the desert. People in the town gradually forgot about the evil dress, but the legend never completely died. Kids continued to talk about the mysterious dress that could make you lose yourself in greed and jealousy. One summer, a group of adventurous teenagers, fueled by the stories of the legendary evil dress and a story about the historian who had once owned the dress, reburied it in a desert, decided to turn the hunt for the dress into their summer project. Interested by the mix of history and mystery, they began gathering information from Sarah's book, old town records, and interviews with the elders. The teenagers were clever and resourceful. They managed to narrow down the possible location of the dress based on the description of the landscape in Sarah's book and recent satellite images. Equipped with shovels, GPS device, and a boundless curiosity, they embarked on a road trip to the desert. After days of searching under the scorching sun, they found the unremarkable rock Sarah has left behind. Digging frequently, they soon hit the sealed container. Excitement coursed through them as they pulled it out and opened it, revealing the shining dress untouched by time. However, the moment the container was opened, everybody's mood changed. Each of every one of them felt a strange pull towards the dress, a desire to claim it as their own. Arguments broke out. Friendships strained under the sudden flood of greed and envy. One of the teenagers, named Emma, more level-headed than the rest, saw the change in his friends and realized the danger they were in. She remembered a key details from Sarah's book. Salt was supposed to suppress the dress power. Thinking quickly, she convinced the group to reseal the dress in the container with fresh salt they had brought for camping. The group, though, reluctantly agreed to Emma's plan. They buried the dress once again, this time ensuring the container was packed with salt. But as they moved further from the dress, their normal personalities slowly returned. The teenagers vowed to keep the location secret. Realizing that the dress was too dangerous to be toyed with, they returned to their normal lives, but the adventure left them wiser and more aware of the dark corners of human desires. The dress remained buried, its seductive attract mounted in the layers of salt, a dormant reminder of the thin line between beauty and madness. The teenager grew up carrying the heavy secret of their summer adventure. As they became adults, the story of the dress was no longer spoken aloud, but it lingered in the back of their minds, a shadow reminder of their brush with its dark influence. As often happens, the time blurred the edges of the story until it became more of a legend. The desert, vast and indifferent, swallowed any whispers of the dress, and it remained undisturbed, lost to the world forever. Many years later, one of the teenagers, now a grandfather named Jack, sat with his grandchildren under the stars. As they toasted marshmallows, one of them asked for a scary story. Jack, feeling the pulse of the past, cautioning them about the dangers of greed and the corrupting powers of beauty. His story raised a spark of curiosity in his eldest granddaughter. who was studying anthropology at university. So guys, this is the end of my story, and if you like and enjoy this story, please don't forget to comment in the comment section and like this video, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos ahead.